Hi there, it's Stu from 3B, and I just wanted to give you an update on the Denon issues that I've been having. I have found a workaround. Now, this isn't a fix to the problem because the problem still exists on the hardware, which is the Denon AVR or AVC 4700 and the Denon AVR AVC 6700. The reason I say both is that I've owned the 4700 and upgraded to the 6700 in the hope that these problems would go, but it seems to be an issue that's spreading or is within the firmware, I guess, within those devices and perhaps the lower end devices. The issue being is that and I did a video on this where the two outputs to two display devices, and those display devices are not on at the same time, although it shouldn't matter if they are or not that you would want that, maybe in a different room perhaps. You would get a lot of these handshake issues, a lot of anomalies with resolution, all sorts of problems with connectivity. But if you just have one connected, it's fine, there's no issue, which is the reason why I would imagine not many people would actually find out that there is this. Hopefully it's just a bug, but it could possibly be a hardware issue too, but I do think it's more a bug. The workaround is very simple. Sadly not that cheap. It's not a quick fix, or not a cheap fix, unfortunately. So I do hope that Denon do fix this with some firmware update. And the solution that I found is, and I already had one of these thankfully, is a matrix. A matrix is different to, say, a HDMI splitter or anything like that, in the fact that it can display, is basically doing what the Denon should be doing, being able to output to two different devices at the same time. So this is basically what the matrix is doing. It can take various inputs. In the one that I've got, it can take, I think, 6 inputs, HDMI, 4K, HDR, and take those four inputs and then output those to two 4K outputs on HDR. So that's how I have it running. I've got the single output on the Denon 6700, so I'm not using both outputs, which is the cause of the problem. And then this is going into the matrix as a single input, and then I've got the two outputs connected as they should be in an ideal world to the Denon amp, but they're not. They're connected to the matrix instead, and that then outputs to the two display devices. So that's the workaround, the fix so far. Denon didn't tell me this. It's something I sort of figured out myself. I just thought, well, you know, and one of the comments I got in the previous video, I did sort of alluded to the fact of using a splitter, which is different. You wouldn't necessarily be able to you couldn't output to two devices so easily. They're more to do with inputs and then splitting that input between one display device. So yeah, and unfortunately matrices matrices anyway are not cheap. The one I got is from Lindy and it cost about £120. So yeah, it's a thing you wouldn't want to have to shell out for if you didn't need to. And in fact the problem is still there with the Denon, and it's not going to go away unless there's a big firmware update or Denon write back to me and say this is what you need to do. I shouldn't need to have to do anything because I've looked in deep in the settings, and I can't find anything that fixes the issue at all. So that's the solution to the problem. That's just a sticking plaster approach to it. I've written to Denon, I've filed a ticket, I'm waiting for support to get back to me on this, and hopefully I'll be able to update you with that. I wouldn't imagine that, you know, when you look at the reviews and everything, they're just connecting it to one display, and most people I would imagine be connecting it to the one display. But however, I do believe that I wouldn't be alone in this, because a lot of people do also connect it to a projector and a TV, and you don't want to have to keep unplugging things to get things to work. It's not how, you know, when you pay £2,300 for an AVR amp, you don't want to have to be doing that, and you certainly don't want to have to be buying an additional matrix just so the amp should be doing what it's doing. And the other key point to note is that, you know, there are no 8K matrices either at the moment. So yeah, that it needs to be fixed, because I do plan possibly on getting an 8K TV at some point, and the reason I upgraded was for the 8K output on the amp, which don't work. So that's the update. I'll keep you updated as soon as Denon let me know more, and if this video is helpful, consider subscribing. I will aim to do more. I know I keep promising that. I know. But I will. I promise. And yeah, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. It's all good. And any questions, comments, thoughts, feelings, emotions, leave them in the comments below. Take care, have a lovely day, and I'll see you again very soon.